in-front shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R. Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Coburg.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburg Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Hockey fans around 16 Mile Creek have waited 9 years to hear it. Your Oakville Blades, OJHL Buckland Cup champions.
Well, don't look now, but the Milton Menace have started to turn things around, and they notched another big W last weekend. More on that coming right up. This is the OJ Today. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. Alex Bloomfield is going to join me later on via Skype to take a look at the latest happenings in the league. Also, Aiden Hughes is one of the top young players in the OJ, and he's been leading the way offensively for the Milton Menace. We'll have a feature story on him. But first, game highlights. And Aiden's team has really been one of the most improved squads in the league over the past few weeks. Despite being slow out of the gates, the first-year franchise is starting to get things going in the right direction, and they continued their upward trend against Coburg last Friday. OJ highlights now, brought to you by BioSteel. BioSteel, the official isotonic beverage of the OJHL. And Milton had won 2 of its last 3 contests heading into this one. Baby steps, as they say, but they have been improving. Pick it up in the second. Menace up 1-0. Coburg catches the home team scrambling. And George Cotiris knots it up at 1 apiece. 4 minutes later, though, CJ Clark, 12 points in 8 games since coming over from the Mississauga Steelheads. And he will add to his total. Right there, making it 2-1 Menace after 40 minutes of play. In the final stanza, they get some much-needed insurance. Sam Bourdage, right place at the right time as the puck bounces right to him, and it's Sam's 4th of the campaign. That sealed the deal for Milton as the Menace continue to play some good hockey. They knock off an experienced Coburg squad, taking down the Cougars 3-1. Okay, hands up if you can figure out the North Division. Yeah, I didn't think so. Nobody can. It's a crapshoot each and every game. Pickering and Markham, the Cats hit first. Brendan Cirizzotti getting tippy with it, redirecting it out front. One's at Pickering, but then check out the quick hands on Matthew Percibale. Dipsy Doodle past Tanner Shepard, and the home squad squares it up. It's 1-1. Then it's Markham on the attack. Johnny Ulickney cutting to the net. He deposits, and the blue and white take a 2-1 advantage. Hold on, though. Pickering heads to the power play with 3 minutes later. Patty DeMille, the thunder stick. Oh! One-timer past Nick Stofchek, and that made it 2-2 heading into the dressing room. The Panthers would nab the winner in the second, and once again, it's DeMille from the blue line. Seeing eye point shot that finds daylight. 2 for the big Panthers D-man, and that would prove to be the winner as Pickering picks up 2 big points in the logjam, which is the North Division. Okay, the Patriots might be the most impressive team so far this young season. They were taking on Whitby. The Fury draw first blood, though. Ethan Doyle continuing his torrid scoring pace by notching the opener. 1-0 for the Fury. The Pats even things up in the second, though. Peter Fleming, a bit of a knuckler that eludes Connor McKenzie, and it was all tied up. 1-1. 5 minutes later, however, Fury on the rush. Riley Girard, the dishpan, soft hands, and the home squad had the lead again, up 2-1. From that point on, though, forget about it. Pats all the way. Huge miscue here by the Fury. Oops. Ouch. Mateo Dixon pounces. You can't do that against the Pats. Third period, cue the run. Dirk Stadig gets it started with his second effort out front here, and the Pats had their first lead of the game. And then midway through the third, Andrew Horsley makes it look easy. The Pats scored 6 unanswered before the Fury got one back late. Riley Girard getting that one. After a slow start, the Patriots roll to the huge win over Whitby, dropping them 7-3. OJ Commitments brought to you by Warrior, the official hard goods supplier to the OJHL. And Owen Simpson is going to the Ivy League. The Whitby defenseman is one of the top young D-men in the province, and he's going to take his talents to Harvard University. The 6'3", 16-year-old OJ rookie had a ton of options. Numerous schools were in pursuit. He was also a fourth-round draft pick to the OHL's Hamilton Bulldogs, but he's going south instead. Congrats, Owen. And Owen is just one of the players you'll be able to see on Saturday, November 30th at the OJHL's All-Star Celebration taking place at Oakville's 16 Mile Arena. It's a chance to see the past, present, and future of the league. There's an alumni game, a Young Guns contest featuring the OJ's top young players, and of course the big game at 3 p.m. Head to ojhl.ca to get more information. Tickets just $5. 60-second spotlight brought to you by College Hockey Inc. College Hockey Inc., official partner of the Ontario Junior Hockey League.
Ethan Doyle, forward with the Fury.
Last crossers, just Doyle scores! Ethan Doyle goes roof daddy on La Llama.
What I bring to the ice is hard work every shift, a little bit of leadership too, and I got a bit of touch offensively too. I can score, I can put up some points too. Wearing the A means to me just being a leader, every shift on the ice, not just vocal leader, but also lead with your play and just set an example for all the younger guys and really everybody on the team. So it's an honor to wear an A, and I take pride in wearing it. When I think about this team, I think of a hard-working young group, a couple veteran leaders on the team, a lot of skill, a lot of potential, and once we get things clicking, we'll be a dangerous team in this league. So I'm really excited for this season.
Doyle moving in, shooting, scores! Ethan Doyle.
This portion of the OJ Today is brought to you by Q-Collar, official safety partner of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Hey everyone, welcome back to the OJ Today. Some wondered just how good the Oakville Blades would be this season. After dominating the league last year en route to the Buckland Cup Championship and advancing all the way to the national semifinals, the Blades saw several veteran contributors depart for NCAA schools. But when you've got the tradition of excellence that Oakville does, there just never seems to be a step back. The Blades have continued where they left off last season and are off to another dominant start. They continued their winning ways in Brampton last Saturday. Heading into this game, just 3 losses in 16 contests for Oakville. Not too shabby. Second period, we pick it up, tied 1-1. Cam Garvey, look at the in-between-the-legs move, feeding Tyson Storr out front. Wow. 2-1 Blades, nice. Just 50 seconds later, Brampton responds. Liam Del Mastro, way too open out front. Deflects it past Will Barber, and it's tied up once again. From then on, though, all Blades. Alton McDermott waltzes in, picks the top corner past Travis Smith. 9 markers on this season now for Alton. That makes it 3-2 Oakville. And then some nice passing by the Blades here as they go tic-tac-toe. Ryan O'Hara on the doorstep. He will jam it home. And they would add one more in the third as well. The Blades continue to roll right along. They drop Brampton by a 5-2 count. While Oakville's currently leading the way in the West, Burlington is hot on its heels. Mark Juris has the Cougars playing a high-octane, entertaining brand of hockey that's got the Cougars just a couple of points behind the Blades in that ultra-competitive West Division. There was so little separating the two squads. It was imperative that the Cats not squander a chance for 2 points against struggling Aurora last weekend. After winning 3 of 4, the Tigers have fallen back down to earth a bit. Losers of 2 straight heading into this one. But it's the home squad with the first strike. Stephen Lee from the awful angle here. Ugh. Zach Deitch would love to have that one back. 1-0 for Aurora. 2 minutes later, though, Aiden Graham will float one in from the point. Jackson Clark screening his own keeper. Christian Filippetti didn't see a thing there. All knotted up at 1 apiece. Second frame, Burlington really starts to click. 4:35 in. Sam Watson stick the puck out front, and the visitors go up 2-1. The Tigers continue to stay with them for the time being anyway. Bryce Young roofed that. He passed the keeper. Nice shot. And it was a stalemate once again. 2-2. Cougars on the power play. Late in the frame, Aiden Timmermans watches. He's going to lower the boom here. Packing some TNT in that shot. And Cougars go up 3-2, and they would never trail again. Burlington on the rush. Ethan Grant, stick on the ice, hard to the net. It never goes out of style. Makes it 4-2. The Cougars would cruise from that point on as they pull away for the big 7-2 win. Whitby visiting Georgetown, and this was a tight one. The Raiders drawing first blood on the power play. Thomas Hernandez just floating one in from the point. Good idea. In it goes. G-Town leading 1-0. Whitby pressuring 5 minutes later. Oliver Tarr. A great feed for Patrick Sane. He catches Torquia leading the wrong way. In it goes. They'd remain tied through 60 minutes, so it was off to overtime.
Carrick takes a whack. Carrick still has it. Takes a shot. He scores! Bryce Carrick, the game winner for the Whitby Fury. And Whitby takes the game 2-1 over the Georgetown Raiders.
Alan Corkum with the great call. St. Mike's traveled crosstown to take on the Patriots. It's the double blue that hit first. It ends up at the feet of Jonah Alexander, and it goes. Buzzers leading 1-0. That's about as good as it got for St. Mike's, though. Watch this sequence. 15 seconds later, Ethan Iliopoulos, the point shot finding daylight. It was 1-1. 18 ticks after that, Dirk Stadig, deflection out front to make it 2-1 for the Patriots. And then 24 seconds later, the Pats steal. Li Jiang bangs it home to make it 3-1. 3 goals by the Pats in 42 seconds. They'd add 4 more the rest of the way to cruise to the easy 7-2 win over the Buzzers. Okay, one more. This was a dandy. Trenton taking on the JRCs. We pick it up in the third. Canadians leading 3-1 at this point. Matthew DeCesare, nice little spinorama here. He makes it 4-1. So Trenton, done and dusted, right? Yeah, no chance. Sam Duchesne, point shot, tipped home by Adam Kim, and their deficit was cut to 4-2. 3 minutes later, the initial shot will ring off the crossbar. Jared Gerger bounces on the rebound, and 4-3. And then it's Duchesne doing what Sam does best, and that would be score. 5th in the OJ scoring race, not bad for a D-man. He knots it up at 4 apiece. This one needed overtime.
Big chances for the Canadians. Up ahead now, Wyatt George finally chases down the puck as he comes in, scores. The Trenton Golden Hawks complete the comeback. Rizvan Mansurov almost scored. Wyatt George with the dagger in the Canadians' hearts.
Jared Klingman with the call. Alumni update brought to you by Scotiabank. Scotiabank, the official bank of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And Elijah Gonzalez, who played for 3 OJ teams, Pickering, Aurora, and then last season, the Wellington Dukes, is off to a great start with the RIT Tigers. He was just named the Atlantic Hockey Rookie of the Week after posting a goal and an assist in a win against Merrimack last weekend. Congrats, Elijah. News and notes, the latest CJHL rankings came out. Brooks holding on to the number 1 spot, but OJ teams making a move, all 3, as the Pats move up to number 6, Wellington to 10, and the Oakville Blades now at 15. And a reminder, quickly approaching is the OJHL CHCH Game of the Week, broadcast coast to coast and hosted by yours truly and Alex Bloomfield. It's going to be great this year. Lots of great matchups. All starts on November 30th, the OJ All-Star Spectacular from 16 Mile Creek Arena in Oakville. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Troy Hockey. Troy, the official apparel provider to the OJHL.
Hey folks, welcome back to the OJ Today, and joining me now is announcer for the Pickering Panthers and soon to be my partner once again on the CHCH Game of the Week, Mr. Alex Bloomfield. Alex, thanks for waking up. This is your sleepy time, of course, because you do the overnight at 680 News, but thank you for taking the time once again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I love being here. Thanks for having me on again, and looking forward to it.
All right, well, we'll start things off in the East, and top to bottom, I mean, the East has been the strongest division in the OJHL over the past few seasons. I think we can all agree on that, just the depth there. This year, though, 2 teams have really separated themselves thus far, Trenton, Wellington. Do you see anyone making a run at them, or will they continue to pull away for the rest of the season, do you think?
Yeah, I do think they're going to stay on top. Whitby has a chance to catch fire, I think, and close the gap. They got enough offense there that they add a couple pieces on the back end. I think they could make it a 3-horse race down the stretch. We will see. The December 1st deadline is approaching rapidly. There's lots of moves being made usually in the month of November. But yeah, it looks like those two teams, Wellington, Trenton, have emerged as the teams to beat in the East. Wellington is 3-0 now in 3 matchups between those two teams. 4-0 statement win the last time they played. So I think that's enough evidence to give them the edge at the moment over Trenton between these two. But yeah, a lot of moves, especially for those two franchises, I think, coming up as well. We know what they've done in the past ahead of both deadlines, December 1st and January 10th. So yeah, I think lots still to change in the landscape in the East, but Wellington, the better team at the moment between Wellington and Trenton.
And just to continue on that Whitby thread, we'll move on to the South Division in a moment, but I saw them up close in Georgetown on Saturday for the first time this season. They've got to be maybe the most physical team in the OJHL this season. Boy, they really love to throw the body around, from Isaac Suklo to Master and Jelly on the blue line. They're a really physical team, aren't they?
Yeah, they can definitely intimidate you, and yeah, they're not going to shy away from anybody, absolutely. And Ethan Doyle has been fantastic up front.
Tremendous, yeah. South Division, we move on to, they seem to be filled with sort of middle-of-the-road squads. A lot of teams around 500 right now, except for 2, and those are the Patriots, excuse me, my pronunciation, and the Junior Canadians. But the Pats seem to be just cut above at the moment, don't they? And they might be, considering their win over Trenton a couple of weeks ago as well, they might be the OJ's top dogs this season.
Yeah, it's tough to compare those top teams at the moment, but I'd put them in the upper group with Wellington, Oakville, Burlington, Trenton. The Patriots right there with those 5. I'm not sure Patriots have done enough to emerge out of that group yet to crown them at this point in the season. They've beaten the 2 East teams so far. We'll see what they do with those West teams in the very limited meetings they'll have this season. But really, the Patriots, what they have is a balanced attack. They have something like 9 forwards and 2 defensemen, over 10 points before the 20-game mark. That's unheard of. That's 3 lines of players and your top pair all scoring for you. So they seem to be the team to beat here. The Junior Canadians a step behind in really all areas, I think, here. However, of course, they're always fun to watch, those Junior Canadians. And then Ryan Teverberg, obviously, a really exciting player to watch. Plus 5 Matthews, by the way, in the Junior Canadians.
As well,
just
too.
Bizarre to call as a play-by-play guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just continue on. Give me like 30 seconds on Teverberg. He was named to the NHL's Players to Watch list for next year's draft. What are your thoughts on Ryan from what you've seen of him so far?
Well, from a stats point of view, he's doing really well with 19 points, only 2 of them coming on the power play. That's an Austin Matthews-esque ratio at this point. I saw him in person. He stands out. He's all over the puck in both ends of the ice. And yeah, he can absolutely finish. He had a pretty goal in Pickering on the road. So yeah, just a nose around the net, a true scoring centerman, which is pretty rare.
And like Aiden Hughes of Milton, who we're featuring on the show this week, leading the team as a 17-year-old and scoring, a rarity in the OJHL, so really impressive stuff. We move on to the West. Oakville, Burlington have had some pretty epic battles already this early in the season. There seems to be very little separating those squads. Are the other teams in the West at this point, do you think, just playing for third the rest of the way? Or do you think there's another team that can really make a run at those two?
I think they are playing for third at this point, but man, I think both Oakville and Burlington want to avoid finishing second because no one wants to play the Georgetown Raiders in the first round of the playoffs at this point. As long as Nathan Torchia is there and he's healthy in a best 4-7 series, that's the best goaltender in the league right now. And that's
and they've beaten both those teams as well already. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think they will emerge quite handily in front of Georgetown and others, both Oakville and Burlington. But come playoff time, they want to be in that 1 seed. Burlington, they're more of a veteran-laden squad actually than Oakville. You might be surprised to hear that, but they have 4 more 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds at this point than the Blades. We'll see if that changes as well down the stretch here at the transaction deadlines. But right now, I think Oakville does emerge as the more dynamic team between the two and finishes top of the division. But again, Burlington, a veteran squad, dangerous in the playoffs. So it's tough to say. They're very, very close.
Yeah, of course. Well, maybe not entirely surprising since Oakville lost so many vets to the NCAA, but great to see those young guys stepping up, like you said, and have them doing so well. We've got just over a minute. Let's move to the North. A ton of parity. Unlike other divisions, though, no one team or 2 teams have really separated itself from the rest of the pack. They're all kind of sitting around that 500 mark. You see a lot of the North, of course, with Pickering. Aurora, last place. They're struggling, but all the other teams are really bunched together. Do you think that's something we can expect for most of the season?
I do, and honestly, the more you watch the North, I think the more confused you get at this point, looking at those 4 teams that are within, a handful of points at the top of the division at the quarter pole of the season. Is anything really going to change? Collingwood and Stouffville, you look at their head-to-head matchup, the top 2 teams generally so far throughout, 2-2 between them. Markham hasn't beat either of those teams yet, so maybe there's a little gap there as far as head-to-head. Really hard to tell, though, at this point. And yeah, Pickering sniffing around. It's been nice to see them get back into the race. They're definitely really, you can compare them to any of those other 3 teams at this point, despite their tough start to the season. Zach Sirota leads the way for Markham, so again, he's a real tough character to play against. Both, again, he lights up the score sheet, but he'll also really get under your collar. So he's been fun to watch as well in North. But yeah, really tough to say who comes out of this, and it's going to be, again, interesting. I think everyone benefits for those first 2 rounds of the playoffs in the North.
Sirota, I talked to him this weekend. Patterns his game after Brad Marchand. Not surprising at all when you watch him play. Anyway, you go back to sleep. You need your rest, buddy. I always appreciate you waking up, doing this for us. Thanks a lot, buddy. I'll see you out there at the rink.
Thank you.
This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Scotiabank. Scotiabank, the official bank of the OJHL. Hey folks, welcome back to the OJ Today. The Milton Menace have really been a great story in their inaugural OJHL season. After a bit of a slow start, the Halton Region squad have really picked it up lately, and Menace forward Aiden Hughes has been garnering a ton of attention from NCAA schools. Not exactly surprising, considering he's leading the team in scoring as a 17-year-old. Pretty rare in the OJ. Here's a closer look now at what makes Hughes such a special player.
Menace rips Hughes down the wing. Hughes shoots. Saved by Bennett. Rebound. Wide open net. They score! Aiden Hughes, the game winner!
The Milton Menace have had their growing pains in their inaugural OJHL season, but that was to be expected. They're young, and each game is a learning experience. What wasn't expected is that they'd be paced offensively by a 17-year-old. In a league typically dominated by older players, Aiden Hughes has led the way for the Menace.
I see myself as a two-way forward. Plays with physicality, and that's like the main aspect of my game. I can contribute on offense and contribute on defense.
Hughes, he's just an all-around amazing player. For him being an 0-2, it's really spectacular to see what he can do out there on the ice. He's very dominant, and he's also just a natural goal scorer. So anytime he gets the puck, he's got an amazing shot. You see him on the power play, just because he's just got the skills to put the puck in the back of the net.
Hughes patterns his game after one of the NHL's best all-around players.
I like to model my game after Jonathan Toews. He's just one of the best two-way forwards in the NHL. He contributes on the offensive aspect of the game and the defensive, so I like to model my game after him.
Watching Hughes play, the attention to detail is certainly there all over the ice, as is the ability to get under the opposition's skin, something his teammates and coaches love about his game.
Yeah, Hughes does have a little bit of edge to his game. When he gets angry, he gets a little chip on his shoulder, and it's kind of scary, but he just starts working harder. He starts digging down, and you just know when it comes to that, you probably shouldn't have gotten him too mad, because he's going to start going.
He's got a little nasty side to him as well. We've talked about trying to model his game after a Brad Marchand type of player. Can sting you by putting the puck in the back of the net, but also get under your skin and agitate you a little bit. And I think the earlier in the game that he gets a little bit PO'd type of thing, I think the better he plays. He gets frustrated with himself sometimes, but he settles down, he gets dialed in, and it almost seems, the more angry he gets, the better he plays.
Despite being only 17, Hughes sees himself as a leader on the team.
I like to help younger guys out, teach them what happens in this league and how they should play, and special things they should do on the ice.
He's a real quiet leader. He doesn't say much in the room. He's not a guy that's going to bark at practice or come in the locker room between periods, and he leads by example, by work ethic day in, day out.
Aiden's stellar work this year means he'll soon have a tough choice to make, but it's a difficult decision any young player would love to have to make. Stay home and play Major Junior or head south to the NCAA.
He's already had quite a few teams kind of poking around and asking to meet with him and asking for his information and transcripts and whatnot. So I truly believe there's some traction with some D1 schools right now. I believe he'll have a commitment here at some point.
Yeah, I have been talking to some schools. I'm still deciding between the OHL and NCAA. I think closer to the end of the season, I'll finalize my plans and my future.
He's been a lot of fun to work with. He's tremendously skilled. He's very smart, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he produces over the rest of the year.
Spinning, firing, and scoring is Aiden Hughes.
Okay, before we go, the OJ standings brought to you by Jostens, the official ring and awards provider to the OJHL. Starting in the West, Oakville still a slim lead over second place Burlington, followed by Georgetown, Brantford, Buffalo, and the Menace. In the North, Collingwood, a 2-point lead over Stouffville, followed by Markham, Pickering, and Aurora in fifth right now. In the South Division, the Patriots, bit of a cushion now over the JRCs, 5 points, followed by St. Mike's, Mississauga, North York, and Brampton. Finally, in the East, Wellington, Trenton, the dogfight continues, followed by Whitby, the Cobra Cougars, and the Lindsay Muskies. Top 5 this week brought to you by Cliff Bar. Cliff Bar, the official energy bar of the OJHL. At number 5, Markham's Matthew Percivali against Pickering. Quick hands off the face-off, and what a finish by the Royals sniper. Number 4, Whitby against the Patriots. A 2-on-1. Riley Girard dancing past the keeper for another sweet finish there. At number 3, Oakville and Brampton. Watch this move by Cam Garvey between the legs of the defender to Tyson Storr out front. Jackpot. Absolutely gorgeous setup. Number 2, Trenton against the JRCs. Overtime, Wyatt George goes to the backhand to snatch the extra point. And number 1, Georgetown, Collingwood, overtime, Nolan Lowe. Are you kidding me? Like a warm knife through butter, he slices through the Colts, pots the game winner. Sublime as they celebrate. That is our Cliff Bar play of the week. And that's all the time we've got for this week. But just remember, you can always keep up to date with the league by heading to ojhl.ca. And of course, all of your social media options right there for you to explore as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.